I'm about to lose my mind. You've been gone for so long, I'm running out of time. I need a doctor, call me a doctor. I need a doctor, to bring me back to life.
Did I just hear someone say, I need a doctor? Oh well, the doctor is in.
I cross the void beyond the mind, the empty space that circles time. I see where others stumble blind to seek a truth they never find. Eternal wisdom is my guide. I am the doctor.
Oh yes, I am a doctor, and I am the only person who is able to see where you don't see. Anyways, I got a question yesterday about from someone who asked me, from a listener actually, who asked me, Vicky, are you really a doctor? Because I really love the way you detail everything. I'm like, no, I'm not a doctor. So I'm making it official. I am not an actual doctor. I'm just giving medical advice, okay? I make my research. Actually, I grew up, my dad is a pharmacist, okay? I grew up in a pharmacy. He's a pharmacist, so I literally grew up there. Okay, let's put it that way, because I was there on a daily basis. Every day of my life I was there as a growing child, so I learned how to dispense drugs and all that. Okay, great. So that was more like a skill I learned. Okay, it's not actually a profession. All right, but still, before I come on air, I always make my research. Okay, I make my research and I disseminate to you. So I am not an actual doctor. I'm just giving medical advice. All right, great. So welcome to the program, Doctor. This is where we get to talk about your health and your total well-being, which is of utmost importance to us because, like I always say, your perfect health is your perfect wealth. Without good health, you cannot have wealth. If you're sick and bedridden, you cannot go chase money now, can you? No, you cannot. Great. So gather around now. The doctor is in. It's time for you to get to know about that health condition, or you should get to know how to prevent it, how it is treated, or how to help other people who are going through that health condition. Yeah, that's the beauty of Doctor. And this is yours truly, solely for your listening pleasure, Vicky Lonia Radio. And just so you don't forget, because I know you're not going to forget, I am Vicky Lonia. Great. So today on Doc Talk, we are going to be looking at a continuation of what we had yesterday. Yesterday we talked about stroke. We started the topic stroke yesterday, and yesterday was episode 1 of the topic stroke. And yesterday we looked at the meaning of stroke and of course the symptoms of stroke. Right? Great. So if you missed that episode, just go down there, just scroll down. You're going to see the episode, okay? But mind you, by this time tomorrow is going to be off. It's just for 24 hours. So if you missed like yesterday's episode of the topic stroke, go back there and listen to it so that you can understand what we are doing right here today. So today we are going to be looking at episode 2 of stroke. Yes, we looked at the meaning of stroke yesterday and the symptoms of stroke. Today we are going to be looking at the causes of stroke. Yes, it's a very broad topic and I'm not going to rush it because I want us to understand every bit of it. Okay, you might not be a stroke patient, okay, but you might really know someone who is going through a situation. It helps you to better empathize and sympathize with them. Okay, great. And who knows, you might be in a position to help out one way or the other. So it's good that you know what it's all about. And a lot of us have lost our elderly ones to this stroke of a health condition. So, and still we don't even understand it. So it's good that you know what happened, okay? So you don't continue to feel bad. And so you can help others out there who are going through similar situations. And so that you can be aware to know whether you are about to have it or not, okay? That's the reason for this for this medical advice. So, welcome to the show. Now, before I go straight, you know me, I love to bring the action.
Bring the action.
All right, I am ready, and because you are ready, I am ready. And without wasting much time, we are going to go straight. All right. Before I continue, this program is sponsored by Lucky Star Pharmacy. Yes, this edition of the program is sponsored by Lucky Star Pharmacy. Lucky Star Pharmacy is located in Benin City. Yes, Plymouth Road off Babizwa Junction, Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. So, to all my listeners out there in Benin City, or if you know you're moving to Benin City, or anything happens to take you to Benin City, and you are looking for the best pharmacy to go to for the best of over-the-counter drug dispensation, medical advice, health consultations, and the best of medical personnel, doctors and nurses, just go over to Lucky Star Pharmacy at Plymouth Road off Babizwa Junction, Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria, and you get what you are looking for. Expertamente. Alright, so straight up to episode 2 of the health condition called stroke. So, what are the causes of stroke? First of all, remember that stroke is actually when blood supply to a part of your brain is interrupted. Okay, don't forget that. What is stroke? Stroke occurs when the blood supply to a part of your brain or your brain in total is interrupted or reduced. Okay, now this in turn deprives your brain of oxygen and nutrients, which can cause your brain cells to die. Alright, I just want to remind you what stroke is. Now we are going to be looking at the causes of stroke today. Now, a stroke may be caused by a blocked artery, which is also known as ischemic stroke, or the leaking of a busting or the leaking or the busting of a blood vessel, which is also known as hemorrhagic stroke. Now, some people may experience only a temporary disruption of blood flow to their brain, which is also what we know as transient ischemic attack, or shortened as TIA. Now, so that is to tell you that there are different types of stroke. There is the ischemic stroke, there is the hemorrhagic stroke, and there is the transient ischemic attack. Okay, now we are going to be looking at these different types of stroke and the causes. Okay, now ischemic stroke. 85% of strokes are literally ischemic strokes. Now, ischemic stroke occurs when the arteries to your brain become narrowed or blocked, causing severely reduced blood flow to the brain. Okay? Now, the most common ischemic strokes include thrombotic stroke. A thrombotic stroke occurs when the blood clots forms in one of the arteries that supply blood to your brain. A clot may be caused by fatty deposits that build up in the arteries and cause reduced blood flow or other artery conditions. Okay, then they'll also have the embolic stroke. Now, an embolic stroke occurs when a blood clot or other debris forms away from your brain. Okay, not in your brain. Now, they form away from your brain, commonly in your heart, around your heart or in your heart, and is swept through your bloodstream to lodge in the narrower brain artery. Now, this type of blood clot is called an embolus. Now, that can lead to embolic stroke. Okay, so just know that ischemic stroke has to do with when arteries to your brain become narrow or blocked, which reduces the flow of blood to your brain. Now, under ischemic stroke, we have the thrombotic stroke, which actually is when a blood clot forms in one of the arteries that supplies blood to your brain. And then we also have the embolic stroke, which actually occurs when the blood clot or other debris form away from your brain, probably in your heart, and it is swept through your bloodstream to go block an artery in your brain. Great. Now we are going to another major type of stroke called hemorrhagic stroke. Okay, stay with me, don't lose it. Stay with me, don't lose it. Hemorrhagic stroke. Okay, remember, if you're just tuning in, this is Vicalonia Radio, and we are looking at this health condition called stroke. Okay, today we are looking at the causes of stroke. Yesterday we looked at the symptoms, the meaning and symptoms of stroke. If you missed it, go down there and listen to it again. But by tomorrow, it's going to be off. All right. Now, hemorrhagic stroke. Okay, hemorrhagic stroke occurs when a blood vessel in your brain leaks or ruptures. When a blood vessel in your brain, leaks or ruptures. Brain hemorrhages can result from many conditions that affect your blood vessels, including uncontrolled high blood pressure, which is hypertension, overtreatment with anticoagulants, and weak spots in your blood vessels called aneurysms. Okay, now a less common cause of hemorrhage is the rupture of an abnormal tangle of thin-walled blood vessels. Okay, now there are different types of hemorrhagic stroke. We have the intercerebral hemorrhage. In an intercerebral hemorrhage, a blood vessel in the brain bursts and spills into the surrounding brain tissue. Okay, it spills into the surrounding brain tissues. All right, and then damaging the brain cells. Okay, after spilling into surrounding brain tissues, it damages the brain cells. Brain cells beyond the leak are deprived of blood and also damaged. High blood pressure, trauma, vascular malformations, use of blood thinning medications, and other conditions may cause an intercerebral hemorrhage. Okay, now the next type of hemorrhage stroke is subarachnoid hemorrhage. Subarachnoid hemorrhage. In a subarachnoid hemorrhage, an artery on or near the surface of your brain bursts and spills into the space between the surface of your brain and your skull. This bleeding is often signaled by a sudden severe headache. Okay, so a subarachnoid hemorrhage is commonly caused by the bursting of a small sac-shaped or berry-shaped upperching on an artery known as aneurysm. Now, after the hemorrhage, the blood vessels in your brain may widen and narrow erratically, okay, causing what we call the vasospasm, causing brain cell damage by further limiting blood flow. Okay, now that is for the subarachnoid hemorrhage. Now we are going over to another third major type of stroke and what causes it. This is what we call the transient ischemic attack, TIA, transient ischemic attack. A transient ischemic attack, known as TIA, is also known as mini stroke. This is a brief period of symptoms similar to those you would have had in stroke. Now, a temporary decrease in blood supply to a part of your brain causes transient ischemic attack, which often lasts less than 5 minutes. Like an ischemic stroke, a TIA occurs when a clot or debris blocks blood flow to a part of your brain. Now, a transient ischemic attack doesn't leave lasting symptoms because the blockage is temporary. Seek emergency care if your symptoms seem to clear up. Okay, having a TIA puts you at greater risk of having a full-blown stroke, causing permanent damage later. So if you have had a TIA before, it means there is a likely partial blocked or narrowed artery leading to your brain or a clot source in the heart. So it is not possible to tell if you're having a stroke or a TIA based on your symptoms. Up to half of people whose symptoms appear actually go away or actually have had a stroke, causing brain damage. Okay, so those are the causes of stroke. Like, I'm going to go through it again, just run it through. Causes of stroke: ischemic stroke, and under ischemic stroke we have the thrombotic stroke and we have the embolic stroke, and then we also have another major type of stroke called hemorrhagic stroke, and under the hemorrhagic stroke we have the intercerebral hemorrhage and we have the subarachnoid hemorrhage, and we also have another major type of stroke called transient ischemic attack. Okay, and then trust me, they are all causes of stroke. Alright, these are types of stroke with their different causes. Okay, let's not forget that the ischemic stroke is when the arteries to your brain become narrowed or blocked, causing severe reduced blood flow. Okay, and then the hemorrhagic stroke, okay, this is when a blood vessel in your brain leaks or ruptures. Okay, and then the transient ischemic stroke is also known as mini stroke. This is where a temporary decrease in blood supply to a part of your brain. Okay, this is when there is a temporary decrease in blood supply to a part of your brain, which lasts for very few minutes, like 5 minutes. Great. So now those are the causes, those are the types and causes of stroke. Okay, so when we come back tomorrow, we are going to be looking at the risk and complications, and also the prevention method and treatment of stroke. Great. So I do hope that you have gained from this. Do not miss tomorrow's episode of Doc Talk. Until then, I remain Vicky Lonia, and this is just a medical advice to you. Stay tuned. More great programs coming up right here on Vicky Lonia Radio. Ciao, ciao now.